Hello, and welcome to a conversation with Sam Egwa, Minister of Education from Nigeria. Today we will discuss aspects of the Nigerian education system and other issues related to nurturing respect and understanding in his country. 76 million children worldwide are currently out of school. The majority of them are in Nigeria, India, and Pakistan, all Commonwealth countries. Nigeria, as I understand it, provides free government-supported education, yet attendance has been very low and not compulsory at any level. Why is this the case?
I don't agree with you that we have a high level of people that don't go to school. The information is not right. Currently, government is doing a lot. Education is free from primary to secondary. And because it's free, expectedly, a lot of people will be in school. A lot of people have access to one school or the other. And the only problem I think we have with access at basic level is where it concerns what we call the Al-Majri system or the Islamic education system, where some people take advantage of their position as Islamic teachers and hold the junior ones from going to normal Western schools or accessing Western education. But government is trying to change that, and a lot has been done in that line. Currently, they have tried to convince those teachers that Islamic teaching does not stop people from getting access to Western education. And we are trying to incorporate the Islamic education. When I mean about Islamic, I mean the very low level where they get people and try to teach them under the trees and teach them Quran and the Islamic studies. That does not in any way run contrary to getting Western education. And people are really getting caught because it's done at the rural areas. These Islamic teachers are taking advantage of that and stopping people from getting into Western education. And now government is doing so much in trying to change that. And because they are building a lot of schools, they are incorporating them into the school system. And I think that because of that, this wrong notion has always been there that a lot of people do not have access to education in Nigeria. Of course, I know in certain parts of the country, we also have this problem of school dropout, especially for the boys, who because of economic situations want to go and do some business to get money. But again, government is also trying to address that issue. So I believe that the information is not quite correct, and the level of people not getting to school is being addressed.
But attendance in school is compulsory?
It's compulsory.
It's compulsory.
It's free.
It's free and compulsory.
Because our constitution actually is in the constitution. The government should provide free education at all levels as much as is possible. And for now, because of maybe financial situations, it is free yet at the primary, all level of primary education and up to junior secondary. So that's what we call a basic, at the basic level. It is free. And people, you don't need at any level, no matter your position, no matter your religion, no matter your cultural background, education is provided free.
How does the education system promote mutual respect, understanding, and social cohesion? Because Nigeria is a very diverse society.
It is part of the thing that is addressed through the curriculum. We have citizenship education.
Oh, you do? Yes. Starting at what level?
So now at basic level.
Okay.
And you know, our curriculum is dynamic. It's been changed. Just last year, a new set of curriculum was changed. It was upgraded or reviewed. That now we make sure that students or our pupils taught to respect, have mutual respect and understanding for each other. We are also taught some basic skills at basic level education. They're also made to understand the basic use of the computer. They're also made to understand, try to at least speak at least one other language apart from English. These are new introductions into the curriculum. So by the time they come out, they become better, useful citizens that can compete globally because of the new jet age we find ourselves in the world now.
You talked earlier about some young children who are out of school for various reasons.
Yes.
How do you reach out to those young people who are out of school to promote respect, understanding?
We reach out to them. In the first place, we must have to get them back to classroom. And it's only when they get back to the classroom that through various teaching methods, we can now impact this knowledge, especially with respect to social justice and respect and understanding for each other. In areas, rural areas where they drop out because of lack of money in terms of keeping their families, because most of the parents send them out to go and do one business or that to get money for them. Remember I told you that education is free. So they're not out of school because they cannot pay school fees, because school fees is free. But it's because their parents want them to be a source of income generation to them.
Parents want them to work.
To work.
Yes.
And so, in other words, in order to do that, what we try to do is introduce this school feeding program in various areas, because sometimes it's just because they cannot feed very, very well. But when they now provide feeding in school, you see them getting back to the school because they now know that at the end of the day they have something to eat. And then, also, there's also a lot of mobilization, sensitization going on, getting the village heads, getting the local government chairman, getting the stakeholders to understand that education still remains the only license for future survival, and therefore if they are made to understand that, and the examples are given to them, that if you don't send their child to school, you cannot ensure the future for both themselves and then the family. So with proper sensitization and mobilization, so we are getting them back to school, and it is working effectively.
Okay. Assuming that you are not successful in bringing these children back to school for whatever reason, would you use other alternatives, such as sports, for example? Football is very big in Nigeria. It's ranked 19th in the world in 2007 by FIFA. Is that a means of enhancing understanding and mutual respect through sports and athletics?
Many villages, many local governments have clubs, social clubs, have sporting activities where children come together to play. And
they're not all organized by schools. They're organized
by themselves.
Organized
by themselves. Sometimes they play this football in school fields. They play this football in school fields. In many cases. And as they play, they also mix with other boys who are also in school. Because as they play football, there's no demarcation between those who go to school and those who don't go to school. So that becomes a system, a means of social integration for them. And once they see the difference between those who go to school and themselves, they want to actually be convinced that there's need for them to go to school.
Okay. In many countries, ministers of education are concerned about the quality of education. How are you addressing this challenge?
And we address it through many methods. In the first place, we want to make sure that teachers are trained.
Do you have enough teachers to begin with?
Yeah, well, we can never have enough teachers, but we have, even the ones we have, we're also trying to upgrade by making sure we recruit more teachers. We have teacher training colleges. We have what we call National Teachers Institute. And this institute is primarily for retraining of teachers. So, because if the teachers are not trained, they won't be able to impact the knowledge. The standard will not be ensured. So you start with the teacher because you don't give what you don't have. Then we're also concerned with book development. A lot of textbooks are produced by government and given to both the teachers and the students. Also give them books free of charge. We also make sure that infrastructure development, that most of the classrooms, because they need to work on the environment. I'm talking about standards. The classrooms are expanded and improved. We also, along that line, try to improve the curriculum. Like I've just discussed with you now, we've now introduced the ICT program, introduced the extra language as a second, not just because Nigeria we have English as the only language we want to introduce. We have to introduce French. We also talked about skill, introduce skill. So all these are attempts in trying to improve the standard of education. It is done at both basic and post-basic and then tertiary level. And the tertiary level, of course, has a big thing because we are concerned with the teachers too, making sure that there's enough money to train the teachers in the universities, and making sure they all get their PhD, those who have not gotten their PhD, and also making money available for research, making money available for book development, making money available for training of the teachers for further studies overseas, scholarships and all whatnot. Making sure the libraries, especially in this period of virtual library is produced, ICT is introduced in the school system where students have access to internet, making sure that, in fact, the entire education system at the tertiary level is being addressed with regard to standard, and a lot is being done in that area. Government has put specific money available to make sure that facilities at the tertiary institutions are upgraded to international standard. Because when we do that, those who want to provide education at that level, private individuals or private organizations, will now look up to what the government has done as their standard. Because we cannot be setting standard when your own college or university is not up to standard. Right. We're now to individuals. If you want to establish a university, college of education, or polytechnic, there's a standard, minimum standard we require from you. And the only way they can do that is to get to public or government institutions and look at what we have there.
How pervasive is the use of ICT in education, and how young do you expose children to ICT?
We try to expose them to ICT at the secondary school level, even though you know that some parents who are well privileged, of course, start at the primary schools, but not all families have that type of privilege. And they say government at this level may not have all the resources to start it at the primary level, but I know there's some basic skills, some basic introduction is taught them at the primary level.
Is there a practice of student exchange? Do you have scholarships to bring students from other countries to come and study in Nigeria and vice versa that will enhance understanding across borders?
Of course. But it exists between institutions, between universities. They are encouraged and have a lot of exchange programs.
Nigeria is incredibly diverse. It has more than 250 ethnic groups and more than 500 languages and varying customs and religions. What has really worked in promoting respect and understanding among adult Nigerians?
Yes, a lot of government is doing a lot and individuals are doing a lot. I think, again, education and enlightenment is doing a lot. But at the end of the day, if that understanding is not there, we, the people, are the losers. Some people had tried initially to exploit the diversity in Nigeria to create problems for their own selfish individuals, especially politicians, and more often than not the elites. But you find out that the more people are exposed to education, Western education, they now know their right. You cannot instigate them against their brothers and sisters without sufficient reason. You cannot use religion maybe because you failed an election in a constituency, and now you bring sentiments so that you instigate them to start fighting themselves. So people, through a systematic type of education and enlightenment, people are getting to know that there is no need to fight ourselves. And I think both education, religion, a lot of religion organizations are preaching tolerance, preaching togetherness. Government is also doing that. And government has specific programs to address this issue. A typical example is what we call the National Youth Service Corps. It's a program where the moment you graduate from school, you are by law required to serve, use 1 year to serve your country. In this 1 year of service,
military type?
No, I'm coming, not military. This 1 year of national service is not for military like we see in Israel or in other countries. It's for going to being posted to other zones or other ethnic group or other states apart from your own. other than your own, and you stay with the villagers, in most cases, the rural areas, and work with them. If you're a doctor, you work with the hospitals at the local area. If you're a teacher, you teach in the local school. If you're a professional, you work with them at the local area. You stay with them for 1 full year. By that, you'll be able to live with them and understand them, understand their culture, and make friends there. And most of the prejudices that you were born with, you see them dissolve there. Because of the diversities we have in the country, some people are made to believe that, well, my ethnic group is better than the other ethnic group. Or if you go to that place, they will attack you, or they don't like you, or they kill people, or they do. These are sentiments that don't exist. But by going to live with them, you now find out that those things are mere fallacies, are not true. And you come out to appreciate those people more than you had done before. At the end of the day, most of them have even married from those areas. The girls got married, the men got married, and it has helped for social integration and understanding. So government use that as a policy to address this issue. The churches, the Christian or Muslim religions have also tried to address this issue by systematic campaign and mobilization to address this issue. Then, of course, through education, these issues have been addressed. So, holistically, I think Nigeria has done well, and that's why we're living collectively as a country.
Let's talk about language. Language can be a source of unification, unity. It can also be divisive. You have a few official languages, and English is chosen as one of them. And as I understand it, English is not spoken by all Nigerians. So how do you minimize the divisive and exclusionary impact of this choice?
I think it will be difficult. Only a small percentage, mostly in the rural areas, that may not hear English. So there's a means of communication, even though we have 3 major languages, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and English is our official language. But like I told you, in our new curriculum, we have introduced French, and we're making it compulsory so that at least we're able to speak 2 international languages. Apart from these 3 major ethnic groups, we also communicate through English. And those who cannot speak real Queen's English also communicate through what we call broken English.
In 2003, one of the world's top science magazines, New Scientist, published the findings of a study on 65 countries and reported that Nigeria has the highest percentage of happy people. Why is this the case?
Yeah, basically, I think Nigerians are happy because we love ourselves.
And you love others too, I would imagine.
And we are hospitable. We like strangers. We accommodate people. I've told you before, the problem we had, or any time you see there is a problem in this country, is a problem instigated by politicians or instigated by the elites. But the average Nigerian has no problem with both himself, his neighbor, and strangers. There's hardly any town in Nigeria you go, you find people getting hungry or being starved because of lack of food. We also have water, so we are blessed by nature. Again, in Nigeria, we've not had any case of earthquake or any type of natural disaster. We have everything in abundance. Sunlight or sunshine that people don't get in many parts of the world, we have it in abundance. Rainfall, we also have it in abundance. The soil is good. People live freely. People love themselves. So that is why basically I think, the Nigerians are also good. They believe in God, whether they are Muslims or Christians. So they also have that fear of creature, of God, that once you do something, you harm your neighbor, that you have to pay for it one way or the other. At the end of the day, God has to punish you for doing bad to somebody. So with that type of belief, with that type of religious background, and with the gift of nature, I think there's no reason why we shouldn't be happy.
Thank you, Minister. That concludes our conversation with Sam Egwa, Minister of Education from Nigeria.